Dianica. They had filled a sacred cup dedicated to the snake fertility goddess with poisoned wine, which Bernard had drunk unknowingly. His companions had left him in the temple to die. The high snake priestess's distant great-grandmother, by many generations, had found the dying conquistador on the temple floor. Though she could not preserve his life as it was, she had told him that by drinking of the sacred cup, he had one chance for future revenge and a new existence. If he gave himself to her goddess, she would administer the rites of renewal that would retain the spark of life within his dying body over the next few centuries, till the snake moon again returned in 3 centuries, and he could be reborn as one of her 2 boon companions. Bernardica's human-souled component had agreed, and Bernard's preserved body had lain in a vault under the temple floor, along with the ladies and lords of other devotees of the snake goddess, who had agreed to serve her as future snake beings. Negas. As the speaker continued her tale, Bernardica wiggled her lengthy form and made exploratory probing with her forked tongue of the air around her. She could scent the scent of man-death, and so knew the priestess spoke the truth. The tale continued. The snake moon had returned just weeks earlier, in the year of our Lord 1863, and the snake maiden cult had exhumed the human bodies from the crypts, including that of the long dead but preserved Bernard de Guers. The centuries had done something to the human flesh of the snake dead, and the cult had performed the rite to revive them temporarily as the human undead before setting in motion the process that had transformed ones like Bernard into various snake subjects and avatars of their snake goddess, Dianica. The speaker explained that the reborn anaconda female lying on the platform owed her body and sex to the snake goddess, but her memories and soul to the human who had entered into a partnership with the goddess centuries earlier as he lay dying on the temple floor. The anaconda lay there musing over what she'd been told, and never noticed the snake women silently melt back into the jungle. Their mission accomplished, they had no desire to stick around just in case the recently revived transmuted dead decided to either strike out mindlessly at the humans who had disturbed her centuries-long rest in the temple's crypt, or, as seemed more likely, murder them once her supernatural hunger arose in 3 days' time. So, when Bernardica finally decided to slither off the platform and get on with her interrupted life, she found she would have to make do with whatever human memories and supernatural gifts Bernard de Guers and Dianica had bequeathed to her. She made her way off the shambles of the old Mayan temple and headed to the coast to catch up on the news of the past 3 centuries. She remembered there used to be a river running about a mile to the east of the Snake Temple, which flowed south until it emptied at a coast several 700 miles distant. The giant snake was still unaware of her true nature and thus was puzzled that she could swim down a wide, slow, sluggish river for a whole day without apparently needing rest or nourishment, even though the river had been as weed-clogged and log-clogged as it were possible. She also noted other wild reptilian beasts she encountered during her wanderings along the river banks and mudflats tended to give her a wide berth. Then came the midnight hour of the start of the 3rd day. She had been moving along when suddenly she felt her belly burn, her spine spasm, and her gullet glory in the hunger it needed to satisfy. Bernardika coiled and spasmed and flailed as her body plunged down into the dark waters. She found a massive weight along her whole length was holding her pinned down to the river bottom. The hunger would not go away, yet when she gulped down a school of passing smelt, her insides felt like she had been poisoned with the same substance that had ended Bernard's human existence 3 centuries earlier. When her body instinctively began to gag, to vomit up the poisonous mortal fish she had eaten flesh within her, she knew that being a servant of the moon goddess carried a terrible curse in her snake flesh. She could not eat of mortal meat. Came daylight, the dim river light showed her what she'd come to expect.